Alright, welcome everybody to day 2 of our weekend workshop for the month of April, the George Group. And yesterday I was inviting us to look at the opportunity we have to support our own development. That it's up to us to undo our lower ego selves. It's up to us to recognize and release that which holds us back. And it's like I can't do push-ups for anybody and nobody can do push-ups for me. You know, certain things everybody's got to do for themselves and I got to do for myself. But I can share with you, you know, what I've been doing in terms of releasing, submitting and surrendering, and what difference that has made to my life, and hopefully inspiring you to actually do the same and experience a world beyond what you've lived, and enjoy a sense of self that you may have thought was improbable at best or impossible at worst. So I can tell you that with every passing day I am more in my authentic self. I am more expressing of who I am really, and it's more and more effortless. I find myself doing things that years ago I would have thought would take a lot of willpower, and I do it easily and naturally, elegantly, without any willpower at all. That's a pleasant surprise. That as we release the child in us, the insecure aspects of us, we get to express naturally who we really are. And so that's why I offer you the compass analogy. The compass analogy, if you take a compass, you see that the needle points in a certain direction. Wherever you are in the world, the needle points magnetic north, and it's got a direction, and then you can work out true north from your magnetic north, wherever you are, and you can find your way. In the same sense, thank God, each one of us within our being, there is a unique sense of self, each one of us, and that's there, our creativity. And it's not that we have to find it, as much as that we got to allow it to come forward. And what keeps our natural expression, talents and creativity from coming forward is the child insecurities or the ego, the doubts and the fears and the feelings and these realities that are not true, but we believe they are true and we experience them as true. So the good news is that as you release, submit and surrender, you will find your natural self emerging. I mean, the joyful child in us, as I was saying yesterday, I have so much of fun skating, my roller skating, and I get so inspired. Last night we were watching something and there was somebody like really enjoying skating, doing tricks, like dancing skating, and I looked at that and I said, I want to do that, and it just came forward. I didn't have to think like, oh, is that a good thing to do? Will people like me if I do that? Would people reject me if I do that? I just saw somebody having a lot of fun on their skates. They weren't doing stunts or anything. They were like dancing on the skates, and I thought that looks like a lot of fun, and I said, I wish I could do that, And before that I was practicing with my juggling, and now that I'm like a qualified 3-ball juggler, I'm now choosing to start my training for the 4-ball, the fountain. I am doing the cascade quite well, and I'm really having fun doing the cascade, lots of fun, low, high, left to right, and all that sort of thing. It's just like me, and I'm now undertaking my next challenge, which is to learn the 4-ball fountain. It's not easy, but the drive in me, the desire in me, the child in me says, I want to do it, you know what I mean? And that's how it's been for me in my life, that I want to give a talk publicly, I want to produce something. So my first ebook, we 95% done, we had professional covers made, we are designing it, professionally. It's a lot of fun. It does take effort. I mean, everything we're giving it full attention, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, producing something. Now, if there was a child in me that was, I'm scared of failure, what if somebody laughs at me, and I was withholding, then how can I live my life? You get what I mean? How can I live my life? And, as I do my roller skating and I do my juggling, or if I do my little projects that I have that bring me joy and fun, there are people who admire that, and they say, oh, wow, that's a lot of fun, Or they might say, Ashraf is a lot of fun to be with, or Ashraf is a smart guy in whatever way, that people might register me being me. And that's how the flow unfolds. You get what I mean? I was nominated next month. There is going to be the Cape Magician Circle annual general meeting, and somebody was nominating me to be president of the Cape Magician Circle, which turns 90 years next year, and I'm like a younger member. I'm not here in the Cape Magic Society. I'm only here about 4 or 5 years. There are people here that have been 20, 30 years, with the Cape Magician Circle. I'm a newcomer relatively recently, but they say they're nominating me, which I said, thank you so much for nominating me, but I'm not sure if I'm the right guy, but thank you, it shows trust in me. My point is, within us is who we really are, and it requires no effort to be yourself. And what keeps us, what creates friction and keeps us from easily expressing ourselves is ego identification, fear, need, which is the same thing. And then they'll be you won't be yourself. So my point is, just as I be myself wherever I am, if I am with my nieces and we enjoy each other's company, there's no me trying to make them like me. They like me because I'm fun to be with. You get what I mean? I'm not there saying, why don't these girls, they should show me respect and they should be come to me and hug me, and why they don't, because I'm not with them all the time. But when they see me, they hug me and, Mamu, Mamu, that's what they call me, So it's, why? Why? Because I'm juggling for them. I took them to the China Mall and we bought these lights, disco lights, like a disco ball. And, I said, come on, let's go. I'm like the one telling them, let's go and have some waffles. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Naturally, they're like, no, it's locked down, we don't want to go. I said, all right, what can we do indoors? Let's order cake and this and that. So my point is that to express yourself is the easiest thing to do. Be yourself. But not so if you are insecure. Not so if you're insecure. If you're insecure, identified to the wounded child, you have these beliefs that we were speaking about yesterday. The variety of different beliefs that we were speaking about yesterday. A belief in need and, fear around that. And once you enter into that world, you stifled. You stifled. Then you're worried, what if I be around this person and they don't like me? What if I offend this person? Or I need to make sure this person likes me. All that contaminates your life. You're not really living if you're not really being yourself and expressing yourself. If the child within you is wounded, that magnetic north, the true self, it's held from, the compass, It's held from being there. So when I spoke about yesterday, I spoke about the importance of security, and we're going to continue with that today in a more practical way. But the purpose of it is, the more secure you are, the more you can express yourself. It's not about worship and prayer for its own sake. It's really about worship and prayer as a methodology of healing, so that you can live more expressively. And the principle is, the more you express yourself, the more you can give love, and the more you can receive love. You see, if you can't express yourself, or if you don't express yourself, or if you won't express yourself, you won't show up in the world as your own unique piece of the jigsaw puzzle. You got to be your own piece of the jigsaw puzzle. The more you take the shape of your own unique jigsaw piece, you can have no hands and no legs. But if you really express who you really are, you will have people around you that will be attracted to you. There will be people around you that you will match vibrationally. And these people will find you appealing, they want you, there'll be value, and you will harmonize with them too. That's where, as we are secure and express ourselves in the world, and presence ourselves in the world, and represent ourselves courageously in the world, just being the joyful child and being the healthy adult that is selfful, that is not self-abandoning, that is operating in a constructive way in life. That would happen automatically if you're secure. The needle will just point in that direction. So if you are secure, or the more secure you are, the more you will express yourself as an adult, and being a joyful child, fun and play and laughter. And you wouldn't be hung up on, I need love, or I need somebody to like me, and I'm unworthy, and I will be rejected, and I'm alone. And all these things I was telling you about yesterday, this feeling of I'm alone, nobody wants me, I'm bad, there's something wrong with me, I'm alone, I don't belong, I don't belong, I'm different, I don't fit in. I'm bad, I'm crazy, there's something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I don't have, something is deficient, I'm not good enough, I'm not important, I don't have anything that anybody will want, I'm poor, whatever it is, I'm inferior. These ideas, nobody sees me, nobody wants me, I'm invisible, wherever I go, I'm not loved, I'm abandoned, I'm rejected, I don't matter, I'm not important to anybody, there's nothing I can do, I'm powerless, or I have to work hard and use my ego power, I'm not safe, I'm feeling very threatened and vulnerable with these people, I don't feel like I can be myself with them, I'm too much, maybe I'm a burden on people, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm so bad and unworthy, and I feel guilty and shameful, something is wrong with me, I'm convinced of it, I'm a problem, I'm not wanted, I'm worthless, it must be because something's wrong with me, I'm wrong, I don't have any value, all these kind of things are all child ideas, and I had most of them. I've had most of them. In my life, I can tell you, of the insecurities that I have carried, and I still carry some of it. And I'm fortunate that I push forward, that I know that there is, for me, a higher version of me, and a greater vision of my life. I know that, and I claim it. You see, the more we start living it, the less it's an idea, somebody's idea. And that's the more we get confident, and that's where we take our place as the jigsaw piece puzzle, and that's where our life works. We attract other people to fit accordingly to us. We fit accordingly to them, and they fit accordingly to us, and we got nothing to do with who are these people. Let's make them fit and will control them, they fit automatically. That's the beauty of it, that all you got to do is release insecurities. Go beyond the child. Experience natural being within you, so that you are free just to be yourself and express yourself. With the right people, as you make good choices, and you be self-available, life-attending, and you make good choices. You operate in a self-full way. And what happens to you is your life begins to shift and change. You begin to transform. And it happens automatically. And you hear yourself speaking a different way. You'll find yourself behaving a different way. You'll find that different people are entering into your life. And you'll wonder, where were these people? How is this happening? And it'll just happen. And you'll be I'm speaking so differently, I'm acting so differently, without any trying. That's because you've released satanic promptings. You've released operating in a unnatural way. You've released, this, I need to protect myself. There's danger. And all that nonsense. You release all that and you start being yourself and you start operating as a healthy person. And you allow yourself to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life in a real way, not in a trance way, in a real way. That you really feel joy, you're really happy, you're really pleased, you're really appreciative, and you really value being alive. And you appreciate every day and what you have and what you're being and other people in your life and what you can have in your life. And now there's you connected with you, having connected with God, feeling more secure. You're connected with you, you're expressing yourself. And people appreciate your expression and people love your expression and they welcome it. And you're wow. And you attract the right people to you, professionally, personally. You start attracting the right people to you. Now that's really what we are focusing on here. How to release the child and its misperceptions so that you can be a real joyful child, a healthy adult, and you can actually make choices and decisions that are based in presencing yourself and expressing yourself and really enjoying yourself and your life even more, being who you really are, allowing yourself a deeper expression of yourself as an adult. As I said, it's there. Your outstanding self will come forward. Your empowered self will come forward. It's already there, like the magnet, not the magnet, the compass with the magnetic north. And that's when you're now in the flow of your life. You are there, connected with God. Your relationship with God is right. And now you have a relationship with yourself. And you have a relationship with your life. And now the areas of your life you are focused on. And you are supporting these areas of your life, some more important to you. And you're engaging and you're participating. There are some feeling within you of, this area of my life, there are yearnings here. I really haven't experienced in my life personal power. I really haven't experienced in my life self-caring. I really haven't experienced in my life contribution. I really haven't supported expressing my genius. I really haven't connected with people in a loving way, intimacy. I really haven't, and this is where you connected with God, you connected with yourself, you connected with your life, and then you take areas of your life that you say, what, this is something that's important to me. In my life, I've had a challenge in this area of my life. Now, in the past 2 years or so, the area that I have taken is my professional competence and my wanting to leave a legacy. And I've taken that area. that I want to take my work to the next level, and I want to leave a legacy. And so that's an area of my life that I have been developing, and that's why Universal Bliss was created, to step down blissful living, and that project is underway, and it's there. And what I found simultaneously, that as I was really I took that area of my life and I started dreaming. I said, what can be for me? And I started dreaming, and I started focusing and allowing more of me to come through in that area. Simultaneously, I found that my self-caring upped. It's like automatically moving into that area of my life, into my power in that area of my life, it upped the power levels in other areas of my life. I found that by me taking that area of my life and really investing into it, I found that my self-care practices really improved, to the point where I said to you, I'm weighing the lowest that I've weighed in the last 5-6 years or so, and I'm the healthiest that I've ever been. And I'm really pleased about my progress in the area of my career development. And as I said, my first ebook will be out in a month, and the amount of attention given to it. I had a professional publisher guy to create my covers and to give me support, and it's really going well. So my point is, if I didn't connect with God, and if I lived as that child, I would still be continuing my life as that child. There would not be a joyful child in me. There would not be a freely expressive child in me. There wouldn't be me that's enjoying myself. Like when I said to you, I'm so inspired about the roller skate dancing, and I'm so inspired with my juggling. You might be like, Ashu, don't you have anything important to do? You just said that you got a project you're working on. Yeah. But working on that project and developing myself in that project has resulted to a development of me in other areas of my life. Before, I had to say, I must stop eating this, and I'm overdoing it with that, and I wish I could exercise. Now that I am more in my adult self, connected with God, connected with myself, available to me, available to my life, more expressive and joyful, healed, I'm more healed as a person, I can get involved in areas of my life. And the more I can get involved in areas of my life, the more in those areas there's growth. In any one area, as soon as there's starting to happen growth in that one area, you will find a growth in all areas of your life, or most areas of your life. You will find, just by me saying there's a yearning to develop myself in my career, there was improvement in self-care practices, which before that is, I wish I could do it, and there was improvement in my way of relating to my loved ones. And it's like, but how did that happen? I mean, usually we have to try and change ourselves, and others are trying to change us, and we're trying to get motivated. Just by me connecting more with God, going beyond that wounded child with all these ideas that I listed out yesterday, and some of which I listed out this morning, just by going beyond this, ego, and the child coming forward, and I'm presencing myself, and I'm saying, this is what's really important for me in my life, in this moment. This is my next 20, 30 years is going to be about this. That's the mature adult in me kicking in. You understand? It's not the child saying, what you going to do for money? What you going to do for money? I'm not thinking like that. The child is like, oh, you have to get something, then you'll be okay. When you leave school, you must go and get money. I'm not in that mode. I'm in, how will I develop myself? How will I develop myself? I'm leaving school to go to develop myself, that I may be in the world and make a contribution. I'm not leaving school to go and get money. You know what I mean? I am moving from the caterpillar to the butterfly. I'm going to fly like a butterfly, and enjoy the butterfly's reality. Instead of as a caterpillar wishing, oh, I'm moving too slow and I should move faster, and I wish I had wings, and other people are flying about and I'm here all alone, and I am taking my place with other human beings on the planet who are more secure. I'm taking my place. I'm coming out of, being isolated in a wounded child. I don't want to live any longer as a wounded child and live out as dependent, codependent, pseudo-independent. I don't want to do that. Life is short. My purpose, I believe that we are here to learn, grow and develop. I believe that if I can learn, grow and develop beyond fears and insecurities, what I call Satan worship, if I really worship God, I believe that it's a spiritual purpose for me being here. I believe that the more I become secure and the more I express my creativity, God-given spirit within me, the more my life will work as I support development. My life will work automatically, and it is. And I believe that the more my life works automatically in this world, I will die at a higher level. And you will witness it. And I will be raised up at a higher level. I believe. These are my beliefs. This is what I know as true within my being. And it's not just a belief in my mind, in my child mind. It's an awareness, a certainty of awareness. It's a conviction of experience. Somebody who went from being a caterpillar to a butterfly, they know it, they feel it. Other caterpillars are like, you think it's really possible? I don't know, maybe I should grow wings, maybe. Those of us who have done it and are doing it, those of us who are supporting the development, those of us who are supporting the transformation, those of us are going into the cocoon. We're saying we will cocoon. We will go into a space of retreat where we will stop being and living and experiencing how we were being, living and experiencing. I choose to go into the cocoon where I can become beyond who I've been. See, I choose to go into the cocoon. And that's what we do here. When we come in here for our weekend workshop, we have the opportunity to leave our usual way of being in the world aside for a while. And we can begin to reflect. We can begin to reflect, what is my degree of security? Am I living as a secure, self-presencing, self-representing, mature adult who is being joyful and who is expressing myself and enjoying myself? Is there joy? Is there joy? Is there expression? Is there me participating powerfully and progressively as an adult? Is there areas of my life that I would like to see growth in? Am I supporting, spiritual development and personal growth? As we support that growth in our life, all other areas of our life accordingly move up. We are now emerging out of the chrysalis, out of the cocoon as the butterfly. And lo and behold, sooner or later, we start realizing, wow, as we've heard, students saying, look at where our students were and look at where they are today. Wow, from being there, not receiving caring to now receiving caring and support, from being isolated and hiding in the world, from the world, now connecting and taking their place in the world. What courage! What courage! You get what I mean? This is what it's about. It's about courageously, not forcefully, courageously saying, I'm going to take my place in the world. I'm going to show up in life. I'm not going to play this role, as a child, depending on everybody and anything and everything. I'm not going to play this role of being everybody's martyr or mother or rescuer or savior, caretaker. I've got my own life to live. I've got an adult life to live. I want to show up in the world rather than be self-abandoning. You know what I mean? I'm busy with this and I'm busy with that, looking after me. Instead of, I'm here, I'm living my life. Wasn't easy for me. Being dependent, being codependent, wasn't easy. Still a challenge. I still have a tendency to put my students before me sometimes, you know what I mean? I still focus on other people's growth and development more than my own sometimes, you know. But I'm working it. I know that I can't show up in the world in my legacy if I make my students more important than me. I know that. And I'm working on it. I'm working on withdrawing from being too close to people in a professional capacity, you know, and having my own space in which to operate in, instead of crowding somebody or being too attached to people. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I see what my issues are. I'm no longer as dependent as I used to be. I do things myself. I ask for help. And before, I wouldn't just ask for help. I'll just tell them, do it for me, do this for me, do that for me. Now I'll say, look, I can't do this for me. If you can do it for me, I'll appreciate it. Or can somebody teach me how to do it? I'm showing up not like you do it for me, you do it for me. I'm like, I'll do what I can do. Before, like, I didn't want to show up, and today I will clean up, I will wash dishes, and, I will apply myself in a more independent way than before. Even when I went to Durban and I was with my family and my mum, I would clean up and all that sort of thing, even though they are maids, and that I'd do my bit. You know what I mean? Before it's like, just let people do it for me, man. You know what I mean? And don't grow and develop. But now I'm less dependent than I've ever been. I'm more truly, self-reliant. And I'm happy to be self-reliant. I don't dread it and, oh man, I got to do this and I don't want to do that, and oh, can't somebody do it for me? I'm happily self-reliant, happy. And when it comes to others, I'm actually withdrawing and giving people space to do whatever they want to do and live their lives however they want to live, instead of saying, come on, you got to become more secure, you got to move forward with me, we're moving forward, you got to move forward. I'm saying, okay, if you want to move forward, you move forward. You don't want to move forward, it's okay. I'm moving forward, and I'm happily moving forward. I'm self-reliant more than I've ever been, and I'm self-representing more than I've ever been. If you want to be more self-reliant, that's awesome. If you want to be more self-representing, that's awesome. If you want to have a sense of self and aspire, for what's important for you, and let that come forward, good for you. You know what I mean? I have my own aspirations. Before it was like, what if the people around me don't like my aspirations? Or I'm scared to tell people my aspirations because they'll tell me, oh, you're only interested in you. But what about me? I had this issue that I was unhealthily attached to people in a codependent way, that it was more about us than me, it was more about them than me. Are you in the same category? Are you codependent like me, how I was? Are you dependent like how I was? Want everybody to do things for you, but you don't want to do it for you, don't want to feel the pride of doing it for yourself. Being independent of others. Non-dependent is the word. And like, are you with other people and you put them before you and you're always pleasing them, and you lose yourself in relationships. You don't represent yourself. You don't know how to connect with people as an individual. I'm learning. It's been challenging. The people around you will tell you. It's hard to say no to people when you always said yes to them. But you've got to start focusing on you and say, what do I like? What do I want? I am a person in my own right. I represent myself. I'm learning. I'm growing. It's tough. But I'm doing it. It's worth it. Emerging as an adult. I'm teaching other people about emerging as an adult. And I'm looking at where in my life I depend on me and I don't let others support me. Where in my life I'm not easily and happily, living life. I might be feeling stressed and strained, and I feel like pressure to do things. I've got to work. Well, fortunately, that's not me. I've got to work for money. It's all about the money and making sure I get the money. Money is more important. You know what I mean? The man, the woman, the boss, the job, what? I have to control it. I have to make sure I have enough of what? You know what I mean? I'm now living as a person who knows my own value, who knows the value that I have in other people's life, who's relating to people as, an adult and is being of value to the right people, and giving and receiving with the right people instead of living isolated, alone. It's up to you. It's up to you. I can only, my father always said it, and I don't know what he really meant by this, but Ashraf, we can take the horse to the water, but we can't make it drink, he would always say to me. Meaning, I didn't want to learn, I didn't want to learn. He would always tell me something, I would be like, I already know, So, I can take the horse to the water, but I can't make it drink. My new one is, but I can salt the oats. We can salt the oats. The food that it eats, we can put some salt in there, we can make the horse thirsty. That's what I say. You can take the horse to the water, but you can salt. You can't take the horse to the water. Okay, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. But you can salt the oats. So that's what I'm doing with the people in my life. I'm saying, look, there's a value here. Can you see it? Can you see it? I'll demonstrate it. Can you see any learning in me? Can you see any evidence of learning in me? Can you see any evidence of growth in me? Development in me? I'm supporting my development. You can too. You can too. But I'm not going to force you. If you choose to remain as a self-depriving child, it's okay. It's okay. If you want to continue to think and feel and act like the child that you've been your whole life, that is not self-reliant or not self-representing or not really supporting a healthy connection with others, that's your choice. But I can tell you something. It is my belief that in this world you are worshipping Satan. And that's what the scriptures have been telling us about. Be aware of Satan who robs you, who doesn't want you to know what you are, where you are, what's really going on here. Live ignorantly, live superstitiously, and you will see the results in your life. I said to you that most people are living deprived lives. They're depriving themselves of their own spiritual connection, freedom, faith. They're depriving themselves of joy and enjoying life as joyful children, grown-up adults. They're not allowing themselves to make the choices that benefit them. They don't allow themselves to be progressive and self-attending, life-attending. They don't want to be that. They're not being progressive, you get what I mean? And they are not prosperous in focusing on prosperity. They're not focusing on connection, connecting with other people in an enjoyable, satisfying, fulfilling way. Most people are not interested in heaven. I told you, don't ever think that because you got skills or child competencies. Even children can develop competencies. Even children in high school can learn to cook and learn to do things and learn to, and you could be living your life with child competencies. You know what I mean? You'll be thinking, but I got a lot of money. No, you were good at school and you were good at skills as a child, and you're doing that even now. You manage to bring you money, you manage to keep a job, you manage to move, yourself up the career path because you're good at competencies and skills. You may know how to run a business, you may know how to do things, take a case through court, suit your people. You might live as a grown-up child very well. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about experiencing life. And I put it to you that until you really free yourself from those insecurities, those trances, you will not express yourself and enjoy a progressive, and you will never be progressive, and you will not be prosperous in a natural way. You know what I mean? In a natural way. So this is what we're talking about yesterday. When we talk here about God and like submission and worshipping, it's not religion at all. It's waking up from the trances, waking up from that energy you came in to this world with, that created your childhood, that creates repeating childhood patterns in your life, that is keeping you feeling the way you felt as a child in all these kind of limiting beliefs that I was speaking to you about yesterday and today, and it's keeping you operating as a child. You have low self-esteem, you have low self-confidence, you have low self-efficacy, you have low God-esteem, you have low, God confidence, you have low God efficacy, you have low life esteem, you have low life confidence, you have low life efficacy. You have a poor self-image. The view that you have of yourself is distorted. It's a trance. You have a poor God image. The view that you have of God is a very distorted view that you have of God. The view that you have of life and what life is about, it's a very distorted view. You are the one that is really lost in trances, satanic promptings. You're the one that's perpetuating your own low functioning, unawareness, non-experiencing. You don't realize that. A day will lead into a week, into a month, into a year, into a decade, into decades, and you could be still living in that lower level of consciousness, like I was for many decades. And I have chosen to heal. I have chosen to reveal my creativity. I have chosen to reveal the believer in me rather than living as a beggar, instead of living as a needy person, to experience non-neediness. Sufficient is God for me. I have chosen to go beyond being an addict, trying to avoid feeling bad, living my life trying to avoid feeling bad, thinking if I avoid feeling bad, I'll feel good. I don't do that any longer. I actually feel ease and experience. I'm into awareness that I'm okay, that everything is okay. I'm into experiencing of my okayness. I'm into experiencing multidimensionally. I'm feeling it, not believing it in my mind as a child. I'm aware as an adult, experiencing a higher level of consciousness. I'm feeling the connection. I'm feeling the flow. I'm enjoying the natural flow at a higher level of awareness. Beyond the shrunken, contracted ego, there is the multidimensional, imaginal being that I am, with my imaginal senses, beyond what the eyes can see, beyond what the hand can touch. There is me, the imaginal electromagnetic being, experiencing electromagnetic harmony, a sound heart, harmonized in my being, without me thinking anything or doing anything. I am beyond the beliefs of the ego self and the distortions that those beliefs must create in us. I'm beyond insecurity, the distortion of insecurity. I'm more secure than I've ever been. I'm more harmonized in my being. You can feel it. I can feel it in my body, in my being, this energy, vibration of security. Others can feel it. It's depicted as light, a halo, electromagnetic, high vibration. I am not only aware in expanded in awareness, I'm expanded in experiencing beyond my ego self, beyond the child self that says I'm alone, nobody wants me, I'm unlovable. All these patterns that we continue, I am beyond them to the degree that I am. I'm liberated beyond the satanic promptings, the child misperceptions. I am feeling the peace, the shalom, the satarai, the samadhi. I'm feeling it. The Shanti, I'm feeling it. I'm experiencing it. The peace beyond satanic promptings, challenging these lies, and experiencing beyond the shrunken self, the expanded self that has always been there. The fall of Adam and Eve, we always have been what we were created to be, creative beings. But we identified with the body, we identified with the mind, we identified with the beliefs, and therefore we live threatened and vulnerable, feeling needy. And beyond that, to the degree that I am expanded in awareness. I see more than what my physical eyes see. I touch and feel more than my hands touch and feel. I'm seeing with my multidimensional senses. I'm feeling with my multidimensional senses. I'm experiencing as a believer. I'm experiencing life as a believer, non-needy at a higher level. I am believing in the alternate beyond the visible world. I am seeing and feeling beyond the created into the Creator. I'm experiencing a relationship with my Creator before I have a relationship with anybody or anything. I'm beyond, I'm beyond this abandonment of that wounded child. Nobody loves me, I'm not good enough, something is wrong with me, I'm bad, I have to be good. That duality. I have to get something, then I'll be okay. I'm powerless, I'm worthless, I have no value, I'm not wanted. All this nonsense. I'm beyond that. I'm a believer. I'm connected with God. I have a relationship with God. I'm beyond that ego self-abandonment from God. God, the one only power. There is none other than God. I'm in touch with truth. I'm experiencing it, and therefore I can operate beyond an addict in this world. I'm not like, I'm trying to avoid feeling bad. I live my life trying to avoid feeling bad. If I can pay my bills, I'll feel good. If I can't pay my bills, I'll feel bad. You know what I mean? The tree of knowledge of good and evil. I am humbled before God. I know I don't really exist. I'm a created being in a created world. I'm aware of truth, that there is the one that I depend on, sufficient for me in every way, all loving, all caring. I'm aware. I'm aware of truth. I don't believe I exist. I don't believe the world is real. I'm an apparent being in an apparent world. There is the actual. I submit. I surrender. I'm feeling connected. You get what I mean? Now I'm free to go beyond that child and living in those fears and satanic promptings, and now not expressing myself in the world. I'm expressing myself more than I've ever been. I'm desiring for me, having yearnings for me, representing me. I'm not letting myself down anymore. Before I would just let myself down and think nothing of it. Now if I let myself down, I say, hey, Ashraf, let yourself down there. I feel bad in a healthy way. It's called remorse. Before I was so destructive that I was not only self-abandoning, I was life-neglecting and, harming. Poison myself with cigarettes and drugs and hang around in relationships that were toxic, with people that, really didn't care about me. No longer am I that person. I'm a believer beyond a beggar. I'm an adult beyond an addict. And I am a receiver of God's every good in this world and the world beyond. I'm a receiver. Get what I mean? I am now allowing high quality people and things into my life. I'm now showing up in the world of higher quality functioning people. And now I'm attracting them to me. As I am showing up now in a different way in life. I'm being the honorable human being I was created to be. I'm demonstrating human excellence. I show up in a different world. I attract different people to me. I got no time to waste. I'm not saying that people and things are a waste of time. I'm saying I don't have time to waste. I have my values. I know what's valuable. I know who's valuable. I appreciate. I know who to give my caring to. I know who to give my love to. I know who to back up. I can see more clearly than ever before. I'm not just operating as that codependent anymore. Now I can see more clearly. I can make better choices. I can dream a higher reality. I can dream myself into the greatest potentials and greatest possibilities, the highest potentials and greatest I can see it, I can feel it. It's real for me, but it was there, but I couldn't see it when I was a non-believer. You get what I mean? When I was operating as a beggar, when I was operating as a needy child, I couldn't see all these things. I was like, why is this all happening to me? Look at me. Oh, other people are so happy, and other people got what they want, and look at me, poor me, poor me. Look what they're doing to me, and look, nobody loves me. And it was me who didn't love me enough to recognize the care of God and submit. It was me who didn't love me enough to attend to me, become available to me and attend to my life. It was my own relationship with me that was the problem. I wasn't there for me. I wasn't there for my life. My life was just happening without me being there. I was just perpetuating patterns. What patterns are you perpetuating? What are you living every day supporting deprivation, thinking you're doing something wonderful? Because you got food on the table, you got money in the bank, because you got some kind of qualities and skills. You think, I'm sorted, I'm driving a nice car, I have a good man in my bed, whatever it is, I'm sorted. I got money in the bank, I got petrol in the car, which in the future is going to be hard for people to have if they're living in the illusion. You know what I mean? People might say, I got these things, therefore I'm okay. But really, are you? Are you really okay when you live as a child? Are you really okay when you live as an abandoned child? Are you really okay when you deny God, associate partners with God, live in a false spirituality? Is that really what it's about? Not for me. I'm not judging it, and I'm not saying it's not allowed. Of course you can live how you want to live. I choose to go beyond the patterns that I am living, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. I don't have time to fool about anymore. I don't have time to worship Satan and remain who I've been and perpetuate deprivation. I'm here, I have the opportunity to learn, grow and develop. I'm taking it. I am not fooled by Satan. No, you're doing very well, Ashraf. Remain dependent. So nice. You're not self-reliant. You rely on people around you. So nice. You are dependent. Keep it up. Well done. Satan will whisper to you, you know what, put others before you. You know what, don't worry about you and your life. You're not important. Your life is not important. You must just live here for everybody else. Lose yourself in other people. Disappear yourself. I say, fuck that. I'm here. Creation of God. I am created to be and to express myself. God's favors upon me in this world through my death and beyond are my birthright. I claim God's every good for me wherever I am, whenever I am, however I am. I'm not going to live my life as a disbeliever, as a denier, as an associator, as one in false spirituality. I'm not going to live my life as a child, as an addict. I'm going to live my life as an adult. A believing, empowered, a secure, empowered adult and a receiver. I am going to support natural relationships with God, myself, my life, areas of my life, people in those areas of my life. I am showing up and I'm playing the game and I'm in it to win it. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to live in this life and think, oh, I was relieved and safe and excited and I had food and I ate food and I died. I'm going to live. At the time of my death, I'm going to smile. I'm smiling now. I'll have an even bigger smile at the time of my death. I was among those who learned, grew and developed. I was among those who lived as a believer and died as a believer. I was among those who lived as an adult and died as an adult. I was among those who lived and died as a receiver. I championed life. I really did. Not I thought I did, I really did. Others saw it. I lived and died as an honorable human being, claiming God's every good in this world. And when I'm raised up again, I claim God's every good wherever I'm going. If you have lived your life in a lowly child way, you don't want to learn, grow and develop. You don't want to release, submit and surrender. You don't want to express yourself as an adult and show up as an adult. You know what it's costed you. You can see the dissatisfaction, the disconnection with other people. Is that what you want to live in the hereafter? Now some of you might say, I don't believe in a hereafter. Well, do you believe in tomorrow? If you're living deprived today, do you understand that tomorrow there is a tomorrow, and you're going to live deprived there until you apply yourself today? You get what I mean? And there's going to be a tomorrow after that. And even after you die, there's going to be a tomorrow. We just don't understand what that is from our level of perspective, our level of view. But it's in the scriptures. I've been reading them. I've been studying them. Secrets have been told to us by great teachers. Why we're here. What's our purpose? Learn, grow, and develop. Draw closer to God. Take your place as a child of the kingdom. Live abundantly. Live naturally. Go beyond the illusion of stress and strain, distress and dissatisfaction. Go beyond fear into faith. Go beyond living controlled by the world and trying to control the world as a needy person. Go into freedom. Experience being supported, sorted, and supplied. Live at a higher level of perception. Live as a different person, grown and developed. Live as the educated, enlightened human being. Live as a grown-up adult, rather than continuing to be a grown-up that's a child. That's the option. What will you choose? It's up to you. I can take the horse to the water, as my father said. I can't make it drink, but I can salt the oats. I'm salting the oats. I am doing my best to tell you, wake up. Wake up from your trances. See things clearly for what they are. Choose, commit to a real life while you have the opportunity. For if you don't, not only do you deprive yourself of God's good for you in this world and in the world beyond, you deprive yourself of your personal power, you deprive yourself of accessing the power of God. You deprive yourself of a magical world and a magical reality. Not only do you deprive yourself of God's good for you in this world and the world beyond, but you create, and you miscreate rather, hell. You will live in a world of untruth. I am unworthy. I'm not good enough. I have no value. I need to get money. I'm nobody. Nobody wants me. I am ugly. I am rejected. All this nonsense. I'm nobody special. I'm not supposed to express myself. I don't want to be full of myself. I'm too much. All this kind of, I'm different. I'm crazy. Nobody likes me. All this kind of, the world there's no loving people in the world. All the good people are taken. It's over. My life is over. I'm old now. All satanic trances. As long as you got life in you, you can learn, grow, and develop. As long as you got life in you, you can do your best. And you can receive what you can here. And as you receive more here, in this dimension, in this world, after your death you'll receive more there too. Or you can live as a beggar, needy. You can live as an addict, trying to avoid feeling bad. And live as a victim, blaming people. Well, you can't find nice people. And the reason why I'm not happy today is because of somebody else. And it's these people around me, they're not learning and growing. I'm working on it. No more codependent. You want to do what you want to do? Do what you want to do. I'm focused on me, I'm focused on my life, I'm moving forward. Choice is yours. Come. You don't want to come, don't come. It's up to you. That's how it goes. See? So, that's what we were speaking about yesterday. That's what we're going to be speaking about today. Those of you who are committed, those of you who are interested, those of you who are determined, those of you who are sincere, those of you who are ready in type 1, who are like, I'm in. I don't want to perpetuate myself and my thinking of a child, my feeling of a child, my action of a child, my life of a child. The choice is simply perpetuate or go beyond. That's it. Either you continue the way you've been, the way you lived, and you will then continue what you've experienced, or you go beyond. You choose beyond who you've been, you choose beyond how you've lived, and then you will experience beyond what you've experienced. That's how it goes. Either you remain a beggar and an addict. You can lie to yourself that you're not, but your life reflects that to you. your life reflects that to you. It's up to you. You can live as an addict, workaholic. You can live as a peopleaholic, lost in people's lives, not showing up, not really emerging. It's up to you. Or you can actually emerge. Wake up. Stop crawling when you can walk and run. You're big enough to run now. Why are you crawling? You are, as a grown-up, you don't have to crawl anymore. You don't have to live through life crawling. At least start walking. And then you can start running. I'm at least walking. A bit briskly too, I might add. Soon I will be running. So that's what we're going to continue with today.